I'm Johnny, and this is my North Beach. We're going to make the two traditional Easter pies. One is a pastiera, which is a ricotta filling in a sweet pie, and the second one's a pizza rustica, and it's a savory pie. It's going to have prosciutto and soppressata and some other things in it. But let me show you how to make the crust. This is a pretty universal crust recipe. I made one over here before. They're basically the same recipes, except that in this one, and you'll see it in the text recipe, I've added some grated lemon rind for the sweet pie, and also a little bit of sugar. In here I've got 4 cups of flour and about maybe a half a teaspoon of salt. So I'm just going to aerate these a little bit. Just lighten that up a little bit. 7 tablespoons of butter. So we're going to put this in here. Just break it up because we're going to want, after I process this a little bit, we want to get this to be like a little grainy, sandy texture. So we're just going to pulse this a little bit to try to get that butter incorporated a little bit. See how we're doing. See that? So the butter is broken down in very small pieces. And we're going to add these. And that's going to be most of our wet ingredient, but just in case, if it's not wet enough, I'm going to add a little water. But let's see where we are here. Again, a little longer pulse here. Get those eggs mixed into the flour. See, you're starting to get a little better texture. It's coming together, it's holding together. But I'm going to add just a few drops of water here at a time because I want this to be a little bit more moist. Check it one more time. So again, I'll show you the texture we want to achieve with this. That's why I'm adding the water. Let this mix a little bit. So I just took this out of the bowl of the food processor, and you can see it's pretty moist. It's going to hold together nicely. Look at this. And knead it just a little bit to make sure everything's well incorporated. And we're going to form it into a disc. Wrap it up, and it's going to sit for a little while. Here's the crust, the dough for the crust of the pastiera, the sweet pie, the Easter pie. What I did was take about a third or so off of this. I'm going to use this to roll out and make lattice for the top. So using your rolling pin and turning 90 degrees, you can just kind of start rolling this out. We want to end up with a crust that's about 16 inches in diameter. And this is a very forgiving dough, so even when we put this in the pan, if it breaks, we're going to be able to patch it. But as you can see, it's working pretty well here. So I've rolled the crust up on my rolling pin, so it's easier for me to transfer it to the baking pan. I've already buttered it, and I'm just going to flour it a little bit, and then we're going to be good to put the crust right in there. And then we're just going to pick this up and lay it over the top, unroll it, and then we're going to form it down into the pan. And gently, I'm going to start moving this down into the corner of the pan. So see there, it broke. I don't care because this is a very forgiving dough. Just want to make sure you get it well into the corners of the pan. Just break off some dough and just form it into place here. And just press it into place. Up here, just break it off. Okay, you don't want it overhanging. And this dough that's left over, I may need it for some of that lattice work. I'll roll it out with the other piece. This is the piece of dough that I cut off to save to make a lattice. So I just rolled it out. I want it thin. I don't want too much crust up on the top. Just making some maybe 1-inch strips here. And we'll use this to top the pastiera and the pizza rustica. We're making the filling for the pastiera. This is the sweet Easter pie, only made at Easter time. So let me show you what we got going on here. I drained 2 pounds of whole milk ricotta. I want to get all the whey out of it. We don't want this to be very wet. So these are candied lemon peel, and these are candied orange peel. I've had a hard time here in San Francisco finding this other ingredient. It's this light green. This is citron. It's a very big citrus fruit. You see it a lot in Campania, Sorrento, along the Amalfi Coast. This too is candied. So what I've done here is I've got some chopped up citron and candied orange and lemon peel. This is winter wheat, and this is something that has to be soaked overnight, or you could cook it in boiled water. And this is a traditional ingredient. If you can't get this, you can use barley. These are all sweet, so I'm not using that much sugar for the 2 pounds of ricotta. And I got a couple eggs. We're going to see how much we need to get this to a good consistency and help bind it together as it bakes. Put in the sugar here. Put in our eggs. And I'm going to mix these ingredients together along with a little bit of the orange flavoring. This is orange oil again. You can use orange water if you'd like. Not too much of it, it's pretty powerful. And then after I get this going, I'll add the wheat berries and the candied lemon, orange, and citrus rind. And once I get the consistency that I'm looking for, I'm just going to add those other ingredients. So in goes the candied citron, in goes the candied lemon and orange rind, in goes the wheat berries, and we're going to fill our pastry shell there. Very nice. Look at that. See, get that, all those ingredients mixed well in here. I'm going to use my spatula to fill this up. And 2 pounds should give us a pretty good base here. And after I get it all in, I'll even it out. So we're just gonna, this will puff up a little bit as it's baking. So you don't want it all the way up to the top. And just pinch the end of the lattice into the edge of the crust. Break it here, and again, attach it on the side. And I think we're done. I'm gonna turn it down. It's the other pie that I always make at Easter. The pastiera, the sweet pie for at the end of the meal, and I make the pizza rustica. This pie is savory pie for the start of the Easter dinner. So let me show you what we're going to put into this filling. We got 2 pounds of ricotta. Again, I've drained that to get rid of the whey. And here are our savory fillings. I got some fresh mozzarella over here. I've got some sopressata salami from Molinari that I've just done in a small dice. This is some prosciutto. And I've just kind of had them slice it a little bit thicker than normal, and then I just cut that up. And then here we got some pecorino romano, 2 eggs to bind it, and a little black pepper, and that's it. So that should do it here. We're going to add let's add the eggs next and get this going, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. So again, I think 2 eggs are going to bind it well for us. We'll see. If I have to add more, I'll add more. And again, you want to avoid any lumps in the ricotta, and you just want to get that egg mixed in here well. That's going to be your binder for the filling. And that's what you want. You don't want any big curds of the ricotta. And it's nice and dry because I drained it and made sure all the whey was out. So that looks good. So some of this I did like you would grate to put on top of the pasta, but because this is a flavoring, I also did some shaves like that. And they'll break up a little bit as finish mixing this. And then all this just goes in. Another filling that takes you like 2 minutes to make. It smells delicious. If I didn't have raw eggs in here, I'd be digging in right here. And let's get this in. Nice and nice. Again, just get this evenly distributed. Make sure you don't have any air bubbles. Let me see what I got left for lattice. Attach it to the crust on the outside. You can just break it off where you don't need it. Put one more here. Springtime. I love Easter. A nice fat one we'll put in the middle. Nice and nice. It's a very rustic look, this pizza rustica. Another favorite traditional Easter dish from Campania. Okay, here's our pastiera. I've been waiting for a year to taste this, right? I only make it at Easter time. It's our traditional end to an Easter meal, the sweet pie. Look at this, the ricotta is still moist. We got our little wheat berries in there and our candied citrus. Let me taste it for you. Very subtle taste, not too sweet. The crust is delicious. Get those little bites of the citron and the candied orange peel and the candied lemon peel. Spring is here. Here's the pizza rustica. This is the savory pie for Easter. This normally starts our meal, and the pastiera, the sweet pie, ends the meal. Let me taste this for you. The pecorino, prosciutto, the salami, the black pepper. The ricotta is not dried out, still creamy, absolutely delicious. I'll start any meal this way. Thank God for Easter.